Laura Lynn from the Mama Pop Quilt Shop here. We're working on your Patreon video. Well, working on a block anyways. This one is called the Marquis Diamond Block, and it is right there, okay? Simple and easy. Some interesting cuts, but nonetheless, it's actually quite pretty. I made one already, so we're going to do the second one today. And this is where it lays out in the quilt. There's one up here and then one up over there, okay? So we've done these ones, and we've done the outside, and now we're doing this one. So we got some other ones to look forward to, like this one and this one, so very much so. And then, of course, all these. So got work to do, okay? So we're going to put that off to there. I'm actually very excited about this. I kind of wish we'd do it a little bit faster, but Pop says. Okay, so February, well, it says February, but we're doing this in April. Block, layout, and construction. It's saying place a ring of Scotch tape, but I was using pins, so, I mean, you could use whatever you like. There is a template that you need to photocopy, so that's what I did, because just in case I want to ever use this pattern or to make this block again, I have this right here to photocopy, just in case I lose my other little paper copy, okay? So we're just going to build it out the way it needs to be built and make it nice and easy. Your strips of the taupe, the plum, and the moss, you know, just make sure you're doing the width of the fabric, and then, you know, when you need this little template right here to make the tall triangles that goes on the opposite sides of each of the diamonds, you know, make sure you're following the directions for that too, okay? Because it says to utilize the fabric as much as possible by, you know, placing it there, and then we would flip it and go like this, and then you get the ones for each side, okay? So you need opposites when it comes to doing each side of the diamond, okay? All right, so just line that up just a little bit better because it's shifted, okay? And I'd love to hear if anybody's actually partaking along with this. I know someone or two had ordered the kit, so are you caught up? The borders did take a little while, I have to say that, but it was nice to get it done. Like I said, you know, and it motivates you to finish it, so you just got to get her done. Okay, so line that up. Pop a little pin. I think if I put Scotch tape anywhere, it'd be in the center of the paper template, and then that way I wouldn't have to be worrying about it ripping as I was trimming it up and stuff like that all the time, right? Okay, so you just take your rotary cutter or a sharp pair of scissors or whatever it is you got going on, and you want to make sure that when you cut your template, you're cutting all those little bits off because you don't need them. They're just extra ones that end up getting, you know, kind of in the way of the block to begin with, right? So that's why they have it trimmed off. All right, so nice straight line. Okay. Oop, trim the paper there. And then I just left the pin in to make sure with a nice sharp pair of scissors, I was getting that, actually, it's just a little tiny little corner, but it does make a difference. And then this one as well, okay? All right, and that's all that I need. That's what I need to make my diamonds right there. So I'll put this off to the side. That's a little bit extra. It's been going in my baggie there, okay? And then for this one, I'll put the template there too. Okay, is the kite. I said diamond, but it's a kite, okay? So we just got to line up those fabrics, and you can have them right sides together or wrong sides together. At this point, it really doesn't matter. It's not going to affect it anyway because it is just one shape. And I was utilizing a straight line to begin with, so save myself a cut, okay? Make sure the template fits well within the space of the fabric that you have cut for it. This needs to be, the plum was supposed to be 5 1/8 times 3 5/8. So that's what this chunk of fabric is right there. And of course I got all four to make all four kites, okay? And then I'm just gonna stand up to cut this, but I'm just gonna cut this line, and this line, and then come back with my scissors and nip off these two little corners right there, okay? And I find to get a better position and pressing down on the fabric and the ruler at the same time if I stand up. Just go a little slow. You can always turn, line up, there, turn, line up, There. And these are all extra bits that you may see in the purple quilt. Because really I don't need them anymore. And then with these two here, I mean, you can do it with the rotary and the ruler if you like. I don't know, for some reason, I think I just kind of like get a little bit more precise if I do it with the scissors. I don't know, it's just me. Okay. So we'll put that in the little jar there. Okay, so there we have our kites cut and the bottom parts to our kites. So we'll put that in our little bucket there. And to make the kites into the block here, okay, we're going to add these two pieces right here. Okay, so we're going to lay it out in front of us. And of course we know we need it's narrow at the top and wider at the bottom because we're trying to build out a block, right? But we want to go the other way. Okay, so that's how we want to do it. The straight sides are to the outside, the 90-degree angle, I guess, is on to the outside because it helps square up the block to begin with at the bottom, right? So we're going to flip and line them up and then sew down. And you can do them all at the same time, make a little whole chain piece. It's up to you. And then flip and do the rest. Okay, that was the other one to this one. That's for that side. That's for that side. So we can always just line that up and get all four of them done. Okay. And then here. Oh, that was that side. Okay. And then we'll sew all four of those little kites. Diamond slash kites, kites slash diamonds. Okay. And like with all quilt projects, usually it's just a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I just chose white thread. Nothing too exciting. Just try and keep it consistent throughout the whole quilt. And hopefully everybody's A-okay. If not, I got the seam ripper. Like a little assembly line. Okay, so then we'll clip those apart. Just by the little thread snip on the side. Sometimes when it wants to work. Okay. I don't know. All right, we're just going to give those a little press. Bring this over to me. Move those little bits off to the side. Okay. Just give that a little press. So we got to line up the other one on the other side. Okay. Right. Now we'll take these guys back over here. And we'll just line it up. Just like that, okay? And then when sewing, it's going to be flipped like that and give us a nice flat squarish bottom, okay? So just, oops, move my petal out of the way there. Line that up with your little edge to edge there. If cut to the template, it should fit just fine. Should be no issues. Okay. And then just feed them one and after the other. Making sure you're getting you're lining up those nice straight edges together. Okay. Sometimes you gotta be a little patient, just kind of do a little wiggling, but it does fit. The last one here. Like, wait a second. I had that upside down in my hand and it confused me. It didn't take much. We think winter has come around again. We have about, I don't know, 4 inches of snow on the ground since this morning. Yeah, maybe 2.5. It's April, for Pete's sakes. April. All right, so we're going to give those a press too, okay? And then it has you cutting, I think it's 2 2 1/4 and squares, which are right here, and we need to cut those in half to diagonally once. Actually, it was 2 3/8, so my apologies. So these right here, 2 3/8, need to be sliced in half on the diagonal, and they become the other corners to box out this block, this diamond block, okay? So we just cut them right in half, line your ruler up, go from edge to edge, and then save them for each, kite block, diamond block, whatever. You know what I mean. Because this is a Marquis diamond block, but it is a kite, so it's confusing me a little bit. Which is understandable. Okay, so put them in all there, and then we're just going to do that. We're going to feed one side at a time, and then we'll go and do the other side, okay? This is the more intense part of the block. The rest of it is really quite simple and easy. In fact, you have a nice big center just like that, so you don't even have to do anything with that. And the outer corners are just a matter of a couple pieces of some, 2 and 2, and so the 2 pack together sort of thing. For sure. Get it? $2. Sorry. Anyway, moving on. My own little joke. I will laugh. So line it up. And you want to kind of make sure you got equal portions of tips of the triangle underneath, or, the back side here, you know what I mean? On either side, you know what I mean? Just kind of make sure you got that just a little bit. So it's even. You want to make it as even as possible. So just kind of distribute it the little bit, okay? Is that okay? Did you get that? No? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Munchkin. I kind of chewed that up there. Might be time for a new needle. See if that worked okay on the other side. Yeah, okay. All right, so 2 more to do here for the one side. Okay, a little peek up, a little triangle on the one, a little triangle peek out on the other, and away you go, okay? Just like that. And like you do a little assembly line, I like this block. I think it stacked, next to each other and so on and so forth. I think would look really neat, especially with these points, because these points would all come together for the next block, for the next block, for the next, it'd add a really awesome, neat secondary design with a little 4 patch here and then another little square here. You know what I mean? I think it would be really neat. So I like this block. I probably would end up making a whole quilt out of it for sure. It's quite easy to put together. And I already got the template. So even a cute little baby quilt, maybe do like nine blocks and then, and then border it up a couple times and put some little 4 patches in the corners or something like that. It would help tie it all together. All right, so we're gonna press a little bit. I'm gonna try and get this closer, so less movements. And I'm trying to teach myself to iron with my left hand, because I realize I put a lot of stress on my right and my shoulder. So here's hoping I can teach this old dog a new trick. Right. It's here, so why reach across, right? I'm just making more work for myself and making myself more tired. Okay, so we're gonna line all those up and sew down the other side. Sorry. Got slippery pants on today. Listen, you. That's the fridge talking. We're not sure why it likes to talk, but since we got a new one, it's quite chatty when people are here or when people is not here. You don't know why. Just beeps. Changes cycle. It changes, and it'll change. You go to get a glass of water, and all of a sudden it changes to crushed ice cubes on you, and you're just stuck getting crushed ice cubes until you change it back. Not like having a fridge with a personality. A grumpy one. Or you're going to get ice and it changes to water on you. All right. Wait a second. How did he get away? And then the important thing is to trim these. You have to trim them no matter what because they're not going to be perfect. You got little tabs sticking out. You got to square them up. And you got to square them to, I think it's on the next page. Oh, no, it's 3.5 by 5. The unit should measure 3.5 by 5, including seam allowances, and then, you know, trim and then repeat to make your 8. But, you know, we've done 4, so, and I've already done the 4. Okay, now we're going to press again. Get them all pressed out. I think this also would make it cute in Halloween colors, because in a way it kind of looks like a little coffin, a little bit. Maybe not so pronounced, but you know, I think it'd be kind of cool. You could maybe make a little flatter bottom and a flatter top, and you got yourself a little coffin. Oops. We don't want the green ones yet. Okay, so let's trim this up to be our 3.5 by 5. And what I was doing is just taking, I have to move over here now. My jar's in the way because I need my lines of my ruler board to help me, okay? So make sure, if you need trimming on both sides, a little bit on each, because you don't want to lose those corner points. I realized on one of these, I kind of nipped it off, and I didn't mean to. So that's, you know, I can't fix it now unless I build a new, you know, kite, but I think I'm okay with the way it is. So, all right, so just kind of even it up a little bit on the one side. Just give it that bare little trim. Okay. And then move the ruler to 3.5 on that side. Like this is a 4-inch ruler, so I'm only coming in 1/2 inch, laying it against, sorry, the line that I just cut nice and flush, and then trimming a little off this side too to make it the 3.5. Okay. See, just needs a little bit. But that, if you left it, would mess things up completely. So now I come back up here. Now I know this is a nice straight line. This is a nice straight line. I'm going to place it. So I've got it on a line right there. And then I'm going to trim up the toppies with the little ears and then to the bottom, because you're just going to have a little bit. Make sure it's the 5 inches. So like I said, it's a 4-inch ruler. That's 5. There we go. So if you were to leave this on every single block, your block would be out quite a bit. It really was. Even, I know you're thinking, oh, that's just little, it's not going to make a difference. It will make a difference, you know, because you're following another seam allowance that shouldn't be there, and you get little bows and puckers and so on and so forth. So, and then you end up with a nice, pretty, square kite block, okay? So give that a little loving and put it over on the pile, okay? All right, so that's how you do that and trim that up. So we'll do it real quick here. We'll get the rest of them done because we have to put the square together. Okay, for some reason, it's not pressed as flat as I would like it. Not sure why, but It isn't. All right, so I'm going to try and get that to a nice, close to an edge. Like I said, trim it up just a little bit. That seems to be poking out quite a bit on that side. Put it at the 3.5. Okay, and then clean up the other side. This is where a little rotary mat comes in handy too. See, that's a little bit more on that. That's what I mean. Like if every square was like that, or every block, you'd have a mess in no time. I'm wondering why things weren't lining up. Okay, so that needs to come down just a smidge because I need to have 5 inches, right? It seems like I'm a little bit shy on the corner here. Oh no, I'm good. I guess it was just laying down. Okay, so make that nice and pretty. Turn around, make that side nice and pretty. Okay, even just those little bits. There we go. Nice and square-ish. Okay. Oh, there's that one. Just take the time. That's why I say if you did them all at once, and you could do like a little assembly line and get everybody done. And then you could just start sewing again. I know sometimes it's like, oh, I just want to get to the sewing parts. I don't want to do all the trimming parts. Okay. And then we got one more to do. All right, there's that. And we'll do this. Move to the 3.5. See, I'm going to nip off that bit right there if I were to leave that at 3.5. So I'm going to come in just a little bit more. And I don't want to nip that. So it's more like, what is that? 4/8 or whatever ish, and then trim that side and then come back over here to the 3.5 and trim that up just a little bit more. Okay, because we need it to be at the 3.5. And that's if you have to take a little bit from either side to square it up. That's the best way that I have discovered to do it. So you don't end up ruining what you just spent so much time putting together. Okay. All right, so that'll go, where's my bucket? There's my bucket. Okay, so now that's the hardest part, was right there. Okay, the rest is easy McPeasy. Okay, so what we need to do is finish putting, so we made all those. We did all that. Now we just need to make these. So we put a small little rectangle to a green square and a big, small rectangle to a big green square. Okay, and that's how we're going to make these come all together. So there's 2 down there. We're going to do 2 more here. So we'll do the little bits first. So little green square to the tan, or the taupe, sorry. Little green square to the taupe. Little taupe rectangle to the big green square, and the taupe rectangle to the big green square. And then we're going to sew those, okay? And then we're going to press, and then we're going to sew them together. And that's that corner block. The most time-consuming part is always the stuff I try to do first, you know. And then it's like, oh, okay, that's done. The rest is easy peasy. You got this. It's not so bad. All right, so the little bits over there. Press and press. Mm-hmm. Well, our plants are growing under the lights quite well, minus Clive's inspection of everything, because he was being inspective that day and making noise. So yeah, we've got some, I don't know, they're about that big, Munchkin, a little bit, yeah, a little bit bigger, yeah, awesome. So we're very, very excited. Now, if just Mother Nature would cooperate outside, we may just have to have a greenhouse inside. And you're just lining these up, just like this. You're flipping this up to the top, and right there, and the seam that we put in there makes that pretty little square. That's our corners, our corner blocks. Okay. If you want, you could put a pin in. It's pretty easy to match up. I didn't put a pin in. Like if you're doing this for a quilt show or to impress somebody, you know, then go ahead and do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. I'm out for fun. Fun and learning. All right, now we press these guys and then we start sewing them together and that's it. Now we're done. D-O-N-E done, 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 done. Oh, nope. Haha, almost. Almost grabbed it with the right. Wonder if I get a good treat after. A cup of tea, that I know, because it's already sitting there waiting. All right, so now with those, I see one of them just seems to be needing a wee bit of trimming up here. And then we get to build our rows, okay? Yeah, this was the one. For some reason, it's a wee bit shy on that end. All right, so let's do the top, the bottom, this, the that, the dingity-dongs, the bibbity-bong. There we go. And that's our block, okay? So we just build her up. Do the first row, second row, third row, and then sew those rows together. So right now it's just like a fancy 9-patch. Line that up. You got some nice straight edges, so there shouldn't be any issues. That's why it's essential to square up to make nice and even, or it'll just end up being wonky. Okay, so there's that one. We will press after each row is done, and then we'll sew the rows together. When I did the first one, I had this one twisted this way. I was like, I kind of like that, but that's not how it's supposed to go. Whoops. Seam ripper time, hence why the seam ripper was available. All right, there we go. And this is the last but not least of the Marquis diamond block. Right there. Do. Just make sure your little squares are to the outside. They're like your little cornerstones. All right, let's give this some press and love. Oops. Hold on. There we go. Just wasn't sitting right. Okay, and this. Very nice. Very pretty. Love the colors. The colors are very nice and vibrant against each other with the taupes and the purple and the moss and stuff. And then you're just going to put the row together. Each row on top. If you want, you can pin at this intersection because you do kind of need to make sure it's lined up, you know, make sure it's not, you know, that way or, you know, too wonky. I don't think I pinned, and I don't want to change anything on that one, so I think it'll be all right. Just kind of wiggle them together. Hold up to the front. And then just put her on down. I'll just just make sure this one is lined up at its little intersection. Hold it with my finger. Comes close. Let go. And say a little prayer. All right, now the next row. Okay. Looks pretty. Very pretty. All right, now this flip up here. Guess I will wiggle that there. Hold it with my fingers. Line that up at the top. Hold it. Make sure I'm happy with where it's sitting. Over to the next one. Hold it down. There we go. Beautiful. We're getting there. So that's 4 blocks and the borders all done. Okay. Fantabulous. Beautiful. All right. There we go. And that is our video for this April. Lovely. There we go. There's the one we made. And there's the one I made. There we go. Looks beautiful. Thanks very much for watching, and we will see you on the next one. All right? Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic day. Big hugs.